In 2000, we all thought that maybe by 2020 we would have a gigawatt in renewable power. Today we already have more than 8 gigawatt in solar power alone. We are on our way to 20-30 gigawatt by 2030. Only 4 years ago, the Department of Transportation in the US forecasted that by 2025 maybe we would have 5,000 electric vehicles on the road. We are ending this year with 80,000 Teslas on North American roads. So we have underestimated this. People always think that change is going to happen gradually. And that is the message I have for this industry. Change will not happen gradually. Yet today only a few percent of our power generation is from renewables. But as Bloomberg New Energy Finance has reported in the past year, the investments in new power generation from renewables is now basically on par with the investments in power generation, new capital, from hydrocarbons. And the price of the renewables, the cost is only going down. The cost of solar in the past 4 years dropped 25% year over year, and the efficiency is still going up. So we are going to see that we don't need subsidies in renewables any longer. Actually, I always say the time for subsidized renewables is over. They're going to drive costs down. So now, for the oil and gas industry, the key here is how to compete in the new reality of lower prices set by the renewable industry. That is where we are going to. And so many renewable companies realize that the world is not going to run out of oil and gas. Even the greenies realize that that is not going to happen. But the world is going to run out of relatively cheap and relatively clean oil and gas, while the pressure not to burn all the hydrocarbons that we have in the earth is only going up. And so the only card that we have to play in the oil and gas industry is massive innovation in order to ensure that we get relatively cheap and relatively clean hydrocarbons. That is where the future is. The oil and gas industry is the industry in the world with the lowest investments in innovation, the lowest investments in R&D. On average, this industry spends 0.3% of its profits back to innovation. Imagine that that goes to 3%. I'm not talking to 8% like Apple or even north of 10%. But if we could at least go to 3% and push innovation so that we finally also can make the transition from a big industry, a mainframe industry, to a PC industry, where we can come with targeted solutions for exploration problems, for transmission problems, and of course for the final customer. Because the final customer is the one who's going to dictate what price he is going to pay and how clean it is going to be. Regulatory frameworks are very important to bring innovation to its first phase. But I, as a VC, if I these days have to rely on subsidies for certain technologies, I run to the exit door very, very quickly, because that's not necessary any longer. Many renewable innovations have matured to the point that they are now ready to, at the same time, reduce cost, reduce energy intensity of production processes and products, while improving the environmental footprint. And that's very important.